the annual month-long celebration for the LGBTQIA2S plus community. It is a community, just like the S community. We don't get a whole month, but the straight community can have pride too. But do you know what all those letters stand for? Does anyone on earth know what all those letters stand for? And every year, more and more get added, and everyone is expected not only to know what it means, but to have unquestioning respect for every single letter. LGBTQIAS, that's 8 letters, that's 30% of the alphabet. It stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, two-spirit, and the plus sign actually stands for anything else they might have missed. Seriously. And we are the only country in human history that does this, that indulges this whole thing to this level, including like the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks, who had some pretty out there customs, if you know what I mean. And all this only got worse when Joe Biden was president. Suddenly, a massive trans pride flag could be seen hanging outside the White House. Why? Why? Right? Why do something like that? Not only that, but at night, they would light up the White House in the colors of the rainbow, again, to show the world that the White House and the Biden administration has pride. And on Sunday, Pride Month will start again, but this whole thing is very strange. And no one seems to ever want to talk about it or bring it up. It just happens every year. But every June, we are all asked to show our pride and respect while we honor what some people choose to do in the bedroom. We've got parades with floats where we celebrate what people do in their private lives, which is really odd and really strange when you think about it. 340 million people live in the United States, and every year for a month, we're asked to celebrate what people do in their most private moments. I once saw a float. I was asked to be on a float in a parade in Florida when I worked at a station there. And I saw another float with Santa Claus whipping the reindeers, who were men dressed in drag with antlers. This was a parade during the middle of the day with kids and families. And the last time I checked, Santa Claus did not ever whip the reindeers. Okay, they fly, they're magical. Rudolph's got a red nose, but they don't need to be whipped. They know where to go and they know what to do, Santa Claus's reindeer. And we do this for a whole month. There's no Veterans Month. There's no straight month. There's no month where we honor the union between a man and a woman. There's no month where we honor the nuclear family. No, instead, for the next 30 days starting this weekend, it will be scenes like this all across the country. Although not at the White House, not anymore.
Pride is back at the White House. For this community, for our nation, and for the world, Pride Month represents so much. It stands for courage, the courage of all those in previous generations and today who proudly live their truth. It stands for justice, both the steps we've taken and the steps we need to take. And above all, Pride Month stands for love. You know, being able to love yourself.
Live their truth. Live their truth coming from a man who lied about his health for his entire presidency. And of course, we almost feel like we're obligated to say that we don't have any problem with what people do in their private lives. We do not. But we also think it should be okay to talk about all of this and the absurdity of what we are really being asked to celebrate throughout the month of June. But things are starting to change. Many sports teams have already announced they will not be forcing their players to wear Pride Month jerseys this year. Logos will not be turned into rainbows this year for many teams. By the way, did anyone ever think to consult the rainbow before slapping it on every pride flag and pride everything? And what about that poor little leprechaun? I've said this before, I'm an Irishman. What about the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow? Does anybody have any idea how he feels about all this? He might be fine with it. We don't know. Remember this scene at the White House last year? Oh, great song, though. But what a difference a year makes. After the insanity of the Biden years, the insanity of hanging a trans pride flag, which was just invented out of thin air at the White House, the American people, in their infinite wisdom, elected Donald Trump, who made it clear that pride is wonderful and you can have all the pride you want in your private pride time, but Pride Month, pride flags will no longer be the official policy of the United States government.
We're putting up a beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flag on this side and another one on the other side, 2 flags, top of the line. And they've needed flagpoles for 200 years. It was something I've often said, you know, they don't have a flagpole per se. So we're putting one right where you saw us, and we're putting another one on the other side on top of the mounds. It's going to be 2 beautiful poles.
I love that. And because of that, the multi-billion-dollar business that has become Pride morphed into Pride. Pride is now big business. Think about big pharma, big tech, big tobacco. And now you know what we've got? Big Pride. Big Pride is a billion-dollar business. Pride events, though, have seen a mass exodus of sponsors since Donald Trump was elected. San Francisco Pride, New York City Pride, Utah Pride, Virginia Pride, Columbus Pride. All the events, all the parades are all now losing money. In Montana, the governor just signed a law banning pride flags from all public school classrooms. Tim Walz put tampons in the men's room. So we've gone from insanity back to common sense. Donald Trump officially banned pride flags from all federal buildings and all U.S. embassies. That's a good thing. That's common sense. You can do it at your house. Do whatever you want, right? I don't need it over a U.S. embassy in Zimbabwe. As something called the American flag makes a comeback across this country and elsewhere. It was Memorial Day on Monday, 4th of July now right around the corner. And maybe you've already noticed it, but patriotism is making a comeback. Homes in neighborhoods across America are now flying the American flag once again after 4 years of this.
I was on Long Island this weekend visiting a really dear friend, and I was really disturbed. I saw, dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with, explicatives against Joe Biden on the back of them, Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which, is also just disturbing.
Explicatives is not a word. Those days are over. You can now have all the pride you want. Next month, any month, every month. Pride's coming back to America. Pride in America and pride in the American flag, which should be okay.